I'd like to thank Mr. Oummih for joining us and, to share with us his insightful information regarding teaching online, teaching as in general. Just a brief introduction to Mr. Oummih, and just to say kind of like a few information about his background as a English language educator. So Mr. Oummih started teaching English as a second language and as an academic English at La Guardia Community College in New York City in 1994. He also taught and trained teachers in Saudi Arabia, Oman, South Africa, Morocco, Rwanda, Kenya, Turkey, and many other countries. And it was in this last country that he became a CELTA tutor in 2013. Going beyond CELTA, he has also designed and run numerous workshops and courses, both primary and secondary Singapore public school teachers. After Singapore, Mr. Oummih went back to freelance work, and he taught in France for 2 semesters. And now, founder of Africa, Mr. Oummih has nursed the project of starting his own CELTA and teaching training center in Morocco, in his own country. So, Mr. Oummih, you have the floor to share with us some of your insightful information about teaching online or teaching English as in general. Thank you very, very much for being with us today. And yeah, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Taoufik. I appreciate that the floor is mine, but what exactly would you like me to talk about?
All right, thank you very much too. Great to see you, Oummih. Great for being here. This is Mr. Abdelouahed talking to you. Great. I'm so grateful to you. Great, to take some of your time and, to learn from your experience and, and at the same time, inshallah, we have a lot of questions that we will be asking, inshallah, right? This section is about the international test certificates and their uses, right? So we already talked to you, briefly in general about some of the certificates out there. Mr. Oummih, we want you to share with us, right, some of the necessary, ELT, international ELT certificates that can allow our colleagues, who are teachers and they are passionate about, going into this online tutoring journey. What are some of the requirements as far as this point are concerned? What do you think is the best choice out there in order for their business profile to stand up as successful tutors? This is the main important questions, and the rest is we'll open this discussion, inshallah, for any questions.
Thanks, Abdelouahed. If I understand your question correctly, you'd like me to comment on basically the connection between online teaching and ELT certification, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I mean, in my experience, a lot of, if not most of the people who teach online don't have any certificates at all. Yeah. In order to be successful as an online trainer, you need marketing. It's basically a sell game. If you can sell yourself well, doesn't even matter if you're a good teacher. If you can sell yourself well, you make a lot of money. If you're a great teacher, like an awesome, wonderful, unbelievably good teacher, and you're not good at marketing, you'll make zero money.
Right.
That's the sad reality. So that's generally speaking. There are some online schools that require certification or require some kind of training that the teachers they employ have some training. So there are 2 different cases. There's a case where you are working for yourself, you're an independent contractor. It's all about the marketing, nothing else. Mm-hmm. If you are working for an online company, an English language school that works online, some of them will require certification. The type of certification that they require is not necessarily the same. Different schools will ask for different types of certificates. Mm-hmm. And not all certificates have the same value. There are, so a little bit of terminology. TEFL certificates. TEFL stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language. That's basically any certificate, no matter where it comes from. It comes from English for Africa, from my company, for example, that says you can teach English as a foreign language. So it's not so people often confuse TEFL and CELTA, etc. TEFL is a category of certificates. It's not the name of a certificate. Then you have the kind of high street certificates, the ones that are most widely recognized worldwide. And those, there are only two really that stand out, and that's the CELTA and the Trinity. And these two stand out because they're really good at marketing. Cambridge is very, very good at marketing, and the CELTA certificate from Cambridge is really very widely accepted. And if you want, I can go into details on where it's more accepted or required in other places later on. The Trinity is of equal value. They're both recognized by the UK and Wales teaching teaching governmental bodies as having a level 5 qualification, which is not quite a bachelor's degree, but it's well up there. And the reason why they're really good and accepted by centers, in addition to the marketing, is because they're standardized. They require trainers to be authorized by either Cambridge or Trinity College. So the trainers have to go through an authorization process. It's quite strenuous, it's quite difficult. The certificates themselves are, when I say they're standardized, what it means is that employers know that the people who've taken these courses have been assessed for at least 6 hours of training. And they know that the assessment has been made based on specific criteria. So when you're on a CELTA course, for example, your trainer has a list of about 42, I think, criteria points. Whenever you teach, we're ticking off the criteria. Yeah, you did this, you did that, you did this. And employers know that we're doing that. And so they know that the teachers who come to them with these certificates are capable of doing these specific things. I think I've answered, I've given you an overview of certification and online teaching. I'd be happy to field any specific questions. Or if you want me to talk about myself, I could talk about myself. That's fine too.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. Great. Yeah, sure. Actually, we have much more. We want you to share with us your experience, especially and learn more about the English for Africa. We introduced you as Mr. Mohammed, the founder of English for Africa. What's English for Africa first, and what kind of service they are providing? And, tell, let's say, our colleagues about the expenses and are there any educational requirements, some of the requirements regarding the...
You know how I talked about marketing? I'm so bad at marketing. I'm so bad at it. Because a normal, company director, the first thing he does is says, oh, I can do this. My company decided. And I just wanted to answer your question, I'm a teacher at heart. I'm not really a businessman. But I'm running a business. And the reason I'm doing this, look, I was in Singapore working for the British Council in their teacher development department, right? Mm-hmm. So we were training people on the CELTA course. We were training teachers from all across Asia who came to us, not just for the CELTA, but for all sorts of teacher development courses. And I was in a situation, it's a stable job, it's very nice living conditions, but I was in a situation where I saw that I was not having a lot of impact. And what I mean is that, the people who came to us, we trained them, we made them better teachers, but they were already pretty good. They were okay, And when we trained them, our business gave them an opportunity amongst many, 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 many other opportunities to improve their teaching. And I started to feel really frustrated because I knew that in many other parts of the world, there aren't all of these opportunities. In Singapore, in parts of Europe and North America, I'm from the United States, by the way. My parents are Moroccan, I'm American. There's lots of opportunity for yourself, but in places like Morocco, other countries in Africa as well, we don't have those opportunities. And that was what was frustrating to me. I felt like I wasn't giving as much as I could give.
Yeah.
And that's why I decided to found English for Africa, so I could bring quality teacher training to Morocco. And so starting with Morocco, but inshallah, we'll expand to other countries in Africa as well. I started with the CELTA course. The CELTA, as I mentioned, where's your company, English for Africa, CELTA? Sorry, I was reading the question in the chat.
Okay.
So I'll answer that in a second. I started with the CELTA course because it is, like I said, perhaps the most widely accepted and recognized teacher training certificate in the world. And much more important than that, for me personally, it's a really good course. It is really good. And I think you will have guessed that I'm not particularly motivated by money. So I am, but so I'm doing the CELTA because I believe in it. It really transforms the teachers' approach to teaching and the way they teach in the classroom. When I founded the company, it was 2019. Our first CELTA course was supposed to run in 2020. What happened in 2020? Do you guys remember? A big event begins with P. Pandemic.
Pandemic. Sure.
So, the company was founded on a business model that we were expecting people to come from other countries to take our CELTA course. The CELTA course, regardless of where you take it, has the same value. The name of the center that provides the CELTA course is not on the certificate. The certificate says Cambridge University. And so because we're operating in Morocco, we could have had people from all over Europe come to take our course. Obviously that fell through, and what happened instead was Cambridge very quickly turned around and said, you can provide CELTA courses online, fully online.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we started doing. We also started offering, we were the first center in the Middle East and North Africa to offer the mixed mode CELTA course. So the central feature of any CELTA course is teaching practice. You teach real students for a total of 6 hours during the course, and you were assessed. Cambridge allowed us to have teachers train online. We observe them teaching online, we give them feedback, and we assess them for online teaching. And shortly thereafter, Cambridge authorized a mixed mode course, which is where 3 hours of that assessed teaching practice is online, and the other 3 hours is face-to-face. And we've run 3 mixed mode courses so far, 2 in Rabat and currently 1 in Casablanca. The center itself is located in Nes. It has the nicest weather in Morocco. Nice. Not much else going for it, unfortunately. It's pretty, those of you who are from Meknes, I love you. It's a great place. In terms of making money, it's not great. I think we all know that. We do a center in Meknes. It's not open yet. We're renovating. So currently we're running our courses in other cities with partners on their premises. And we're also running fully online CELTA courses. You wanted me to mention the price. So the price, sure. Mm-hmm. It's expensive, right? The CELTA course is an expensive course.
It's worth.
I agree, but lots of things are worth it that aren't expensive. There's specific reasons why the CELTA course is expensive. One is the Cambridge fee that it takes from us for running the course. But the main thing is the cost of the trainers. Because the trainers have to be specially authorized by Cambridge, we have a very limited number of trainers to choose from. In Morocco, I am the only CELTA trainer currently that does not work for the British Council. Which means that I have to pay people who don't live in Morocco, from other countries.
Sure, yeah.
That's very high. So the fully online course is cheaper. It's 12,300 dirhams. 12,300. The mixed mode and face-to-face courses, once we start running them, will be 16,000. It's the same, it's along the lines of what you would pay if you went to parts of Spain or Turkey. Same price, except you don't have to travel. You can take the course right here. And you have the assurance that it's a really well-run course as well, because we have lots of experience. I only work with trainers that I've worked with in the past. So we're well coordinated. We present this, it's a coherent course. So now I'm selling myself.
All right, no worries. All right, we actually enjoy learning and listening, to your experience. We need great the audience, of course, inshallah. Great. We'll have like 5 minutes, and then you guys feel free to raise your questions and so on. We want to know if there are any certain requirements, for those who want to take, let's say, the training, the CELTA training. Do they need to have a certain educational level, take maybe a certain English proficiency test, or
requirements? There are only 3 requirements. Really.
3.
One is you must be above 19 years of age.
Yes. Right.
The second is you must have a high school diploma. High school, so the equivalent in Morocco is the baccalaureate.
Baccalaureate, right? Yes. Mm-hmm.
And the third is that you have to have the ability to succeed on the course. And when we say ability to succeed on course, there are 2 things we're talking about. One is language ability. You need to have a high C1 level. High C1, and you have to have the ability to learn. And how do we assess whether you have the ability to learn? We have a selection process that you go through, which includes a couple of written tasks and an interview. And by the end of that process, which is free, by the way, the other centers charge. We don't charge anything because I don't think it's fair, to be honest. Everybody deserves a shot. By the end of that process, we can tell you it's likely that you will succeed on the course. I mean, I'd love to take everybody's money and say, yeah, just come take it. But the fact is that it's possible to fail the CELTA course. We have to stick to the criteria.
Yeah.
And you have to meet the criteria to pass. However, we tell you if we think you will succeed, because one thing nobody wants is people not succeeding on their course. Money is not what I want. It's to help you become a better teacher.
All right, great. Yeah. Apart from this, advantage of taking the CELTA online and so on, is there any flexibility regarding, let's say, the pace of taking the course and so on?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I started doing this, the fully online course, I made a decision which to only offer it on a part-time basis. Because I'm targeting people in Africa, in Morocco, who cannot take time off of work to take a course. I'm targeting people who work full-time and who will therefore only need to be in attendance on the course 1 day per week for a period of 11 weeks. 11 weeks. We run the course on Saturdays. Saturday, all day, you have to be online with us. No other day of the week. However, there is work to be done, right? But you can set your own schedule. It's extremely flexible. We have an online Moodle platform with a lot of the content. And then we meet on Saturdays for teaching practice, feedback, input, and lesson planning. So we help you to plan the lesson that you're going to teach the following week.
Oh, right. Yeah, nice. We hear about maybe a similar certificate about Delta. What is the difference between CELTA and Delta? Delta standing for Diploma in English Language Teaching to Adults.
It's a very simple difference. The CELTA is a certificate level course. The Delta is a diploma level course. What that means is, in the UK, if you're in the UK and you have a CELTA, it's equivalent of almost a bachelor's degree. In the UK, the Delta is the equivalent of a master's. Level 7.
Yes, right.
The Delta is usually taken after the CELTA, but not immediately after. So we're currently in the process of becoming a Delta center. If there are people among you who have taken the CELTA and you want to do the Delta, you can come to us as well for that. It's a really, really difficult course, the Delta.
Right.
I mean, I know I'm not supposed to say that. I'm supposed to say, yeah, you can do
just
it.
for I qualified.
You don't want to get to Delta until you're ready, okay? Because the fail rate on Celta is very low. Almost everybody passes, right? The Delta is different. You know, you have a failure rate like 30%, 20%. It's quite high.
Great. Nice. Very good. Great. Guys, we want to hear your questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to raise them.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Oummih, for the introductions into the different courses educators could take online and in person, or to improve the teaching practices and gain or get those certificates. So we have 5 minutes to go for questions, if you have any for the participants, and then we will have another presentation for 15 minutes.
If there are no questions, I can tell you about the other courses we offer. We have a trainer course, so we train teachers to become teacher trainers.
Yeah, sure, Mr. Oummih.
Nice.
Okay, go ahead.
Do we need preparation before enrolling in CELTA? Not particularly, no. The CELTA is designed as an initiation to teaching course. It has become a course that trained teachers take. So people who've been teaching for a long time still take the CELTA course because they learn a lot from it. But if you have no training in teaching at all and you've never taught before, you can still take the CELTA course.
Great.
And we also have short courses, 10 hours long. They're online courses. They're pretty cheap. They're 700 dirhams each for a 10-hour course on things like classroom management, different approaches to teaching like TBL, etc. TEFL and CELTA, what's the difference? Ah, Muad, you were not listening, my man.
I think I've already answered this question, Muad, but let's recover.
Were you listening?
I'm listening. Yeah.
Thank you for your explanations, Mr. Oummih. I really love the way you talk and the way you explain things. Really clear and helpful. Just the same for everyone here. My question is specific because we always hear. I know there is a big difference.
No,
we know
the difference. Wahad, listen to me. There's
really?
No difference. Listen, TEFL is an acronym that means Teaching English as a Foreign Language. Any certificate in the world is a TEFL certificate. The CELTA is a TEFL certificate. But there are different qualities.
It's a brand of TEFL.
Right? Yeah. So TEFL is a category of certificate. CELTA is one certificate, one TEFL certificate within that category. Mohammed, you had a question?
Thank you.
Oh, yes, please. Yes. First of all, it's just a quick thank you to Mr Abdelouahed and Taoufik for being here. Mohammed, it's so great to see you here. My question is, if you can elaborate more, Mr. Oummih, on the other, I would say, courses or training, I would say, programs that you have apart from CELTA.
We offer.
Yes, please. You started, but you didn't somehow complete. We all know that CELTA is quite expensive. However, I think that most of the participants here are here to, if I speak about myself, it's more about how to kickstart an online teaching, I would say, career.
Absolutely.
You got me. So probably CELTA is the next level. It's something that
I'll answer your question, Mohammed, very quickly because we don't have a lot of time. I'm not going to give you a list of the courses that we offer. There are really a lot. I've been training teachers for a very long time. And basically, there are, I think, 6 different courses, 10-hour courses, 20 different workshops, 4-hour-long workshops on a variety of different topics. And one of them is on training on online teaching. So you can come to us and we'll provide you with the basics of teaching online. They're relatively cheap, but their requirement is that we have at least 6 participants. So if you can get together 5 other people for any one of these courses, you'll only pay 700 dirhams each to take part, which is not bad.
Nice. We have one question here has been raised by one of our ladies here. She says, do we need a preparation before enrolling in CELTA? Should you be well prepared and then you go and take the CELTA? Or
No, I answered that question already. You don't need preparation. I mean, look, if you meet the criteria to enroll in the course, then I'm going to tell you how to prepare. We have a book list, and as soon as you are accepted in the course, we give you full access to our library of dozens of teacher training manuals and course books, etc.
Sure, yeah.
There's no final exam, Mehdi, on the CELTA course. We use continuous assessment, and you're assessed on two things. One is teaching practice, the other is assignments. Teaching practice and assignments. So what that means is we watch you teach, we give you a grade for each time you teach, either to standard or not to standard. At the end of the course, we tell you, you passed, you didn't pass. Same with the assignments. You hand in your assignments and you either pass or don't pass. It's a really good way. Please, more on the teaching training. So that's a question about training people to train teachers, right, Muad? Your question
yes, Oummih, yeah, that's it. You started talking about it and then you did not finish.
So I've trained teacher trainers before. By the way, if you know anyone who has a Delta and wants to become a CELTA trainer, please get in touch with me. I'm trying to train people to do my job, okay?
Okay.
It's a long and complicated process. I do it for everybody, but you have to have Delta in order to work.
Nice, great.
Environment. So we have a very flexible course in training people to become teacher trainers. It's modular, so there are several different modules. You can take them flexibly one at a time or all at the same time. You can take it online or face-to-face or a mixture of both. A mixture of both is what's best, because what I do is I go to your contact, so to speak, to your school, to your language center, and I evaluate the kind of training that you will be providing to them. And based on that, I develop a course that will help you provide training within your context. If you want to go to a different context, then we take it from there.
Thank you.
To answer your question, it's just very flexible.
Thank you.
Nice, great.
The next CELTA course is fully online. It begins the 21st of February.
21st February.
Yep, that's the start date. We have another course in Rabat. So it will either be mixed mode or face-to-face. It depends on this. It's a bit complicated, but I'll know by the end of the day. It begins on the 13th of March.
13th, great, yes. Nice, great. March. There was one question here. I think you have already answered, some of it, right? You said, of course, CELTA is not about taking a certain exam, right, and so on, and being graded. Okay, so the question says it tackles the content or the components of the CELTA training. Does it have the same component, just like TOEFL, being reading, writing, listening, and so on, right? Maybe there is some confusion with the proficiency test that we take.
Yeah. So the syllabus, the CELTA syllabus, is a document thick. I can't describe all of the components of the course right now.
Just the broad.
Available online, or it's very easy to get. What is for certain is that the approach to teaching is communicative. It's student-centered, and when you teach, I will tell you specifically what you have to do in order to make your lessons communicative and student-centered. They're not general comments on, it's specific things, techniques. Teaching is a craft. Before I was a teacher, I was a writer. I knew how to write screenplays. It's not, it's a craft. There are tricks. I will teach you what you need to know.
Nice,
thank you very much. Thank you very much. And Mr. Oummih could also share any links to important information regarding those courses or how to.
There's only one link. It's go to my website.
EnglishForAfrica.com, right?
No,
right.
.net.
.net. Yeah, right.
.net. All right.
I'll type it for you.
It will be shared on the chat section so that everybody could go on this website. So I think it is about time that we start the presentation. which would take about 15 minutes, and then afterwards followed by a discussion for 3 minutes as well. But if you have any other questions, we could of course spare some time for that, and probably other participants have other concerns regarding Mr. Oummih's presentation about his courses. So if anyone is interested to ask about any specific other questions, please go ahead.
And this is my email address. If you want to write to me directly. And you know what? You guys are very nice. I'm going to give you my telephone number as well. How about that?
All right, great. Thank you so much. Great. Thank you so much. See you. Great.
One last question.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm just trying to make use of his presence with us here. Question related to the courses other than CELTA. Does English for Africa offer certifications of some sort of course completion for all the courses, right? Yeah.
So I mentioned that there are 6 courses, right? 6. I think it's 6. So if you 5 of the courses, you'll get a certificate in communicative language teaching from English for Africa. If you take the 6 courses plus 4 workshops, you will get a higher certificate in communicative language teaching from English for Africa. So we do offer certificates if you take our specially designed courses.
Sure, nice.
So it's one certificate for 4 courses together, not each course with its own certificate.
No, I don't think. I mean, I could. I don't think it's going to be very valuable. I want people to take a certificate that means something, you know. So a 10-hour certificate. What are you going to do with that, right? Take 4 courses with us and get something that's really worth something. That's what I say.
I mainly imply here the online teaching course, the specific one. So it is part of series of courses, as you're saying, right?
No, it's not. That's a workshop. And you get a certificate of attendance for the workshops. Yes.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. Thank you very much indeed.
All right.